My life's like an open book. Sometimes I glance back through its pages. Sometimes when I take a second look, I'm shocked to see that I took wages. But life can't be easy all the time. Sometimes you find the hills you climb often lead nowhere. Of ups and downs, I've had my share. That's what life is all about. I've known success, some mild acclaim, and I must say it gave me pleasure. I've known some stress, the scars remain, when Lady Luck dealt me short measure. When things go wrong, I fake a smile. That's my style. I've been around, and having been around, I've found that's what life is all about. It's been a joy, I can't deny. And some may say I took things lightly, but man and boy, I looked on high, and never failed to thank him nightly. When I look back, I can't forget the friends I made and the things they've done. I thank them all. It's been great fun. At least for me, on my part, I have no doubt. And that's what life is all about. That's what life is all about. That is called That's What Life Is All About, and that is by a friend of mine named Bing Crosby. Might be a little dark here, so we'll get the fire going. I have some good updates. Had a really fun day in court on Zoom today. So at least I didn't have to drive to court. Yeah, I did not get anything yet that would have been ideal, but I'm not a lawyer, so it's like, you know, everything about the hearing was known in advance to all the peeps. And yeah, just getting to discovery is still like an accomplishment enough, so just gotta remember that. You know, I already know what they're doing. Just have to convince everybody else. Like, I'm not gonna need the money. So it's like, you know, just trying to get to discovery. Been doing a bunch of research into theology and the different like pantheons, basically, and how they're all related. And I learned something really interesting today, which was that at the same time the Persians were attacking the Greeks, the Carthaginians were attacking Sicily, and then the Carthaginians would eventually take over Sicily, and then it would be subject to many wars called the Sicilian Wars, and then Agis the Fourth eventually got back in there and took it over for the Greeks. But then the Romans, which really promoted the same interest as the Carthaginians, took it over. And the Romans have these Punic bloodlines, which, you know, originate in Tyre and Persia and then back to Egypt. So it's very interesting that it's really all like one big, you know, Semitic kingdom. And it's funny, like, we have this phrase anti-Semitic, but it's like, really, when you think about it, the Semitic kingdom were the people who were like sacrificing their children to Marduk and Baal and Moloch and Malkar. It's like all the same. So you would think we should all be anti-Semitic in that sense. We don't want people sacrificing their children. And that might actually explain how a Jew can be anti-Semitic towards, you know, people who are supposedly Jews. You know, but they have masquerades and promote piracy and all kinds of crazy wars and, you know, a new world order. So, you know, are they really, you know, do they have any faith with works, or is their faith dead because they have no works to show for it? You know, what kind of fruit's on those trees? Another thing I've been doing, I can't really say because it's developing. But I've been just reflecting a lot, as much as anything, like reflecting and, you know, really considering who in my life, not in my family, like, but who in the social circles I run in are promoting truth, justice, forgiveness, love, and who are delaying and causing confusion or causing people to have some type of some other negative influence. Or who has been doing that in the past, and yeah, it's tough. It's been hard. It's been very pervasive. And I've been really just trying to stay with it and slug it out. But they're telling me to take a break, so I'm going to do it. Because it's, man, it's tough. It's tough because it's not just me. You know, there's me and what I've been through. And then there's the people around me. And what they can or cannot see. And, you know, who knows what the truth really is at the end of the day, but someone's deceived, you know. That's how I always think about it. I'm always like, well, I've been deceived my whole life, so, you know, it's not like as a boy I was thankful to those on high. As a boy, I was like, I don't understand what all this is about. I definitely thought everyone was equal. I definitely believed you shouldn't be talking about people behind their back. But in terms of, like, the truth about God, like, I had no idea. And I certainly wasn't, like, praying. Like, I pray. I definitely pray now. And it's weird. It's like this interesting balancing act where the people who manage me are, like, trying to give me assignments, but then they also are trying to help me mentally to accept what has happened and try and heal from it. And I'm trying to learn how to heal myself, so ideally I can help share that with people. That's probably the reason, you'd think. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I hold the phone. Someone. You know, it's like very tempting to think there might just be one bad person, or there might be a small group of people who are aware of who I've been my whole life, and they've been messing with me. And no, because the truth is, it's like there's groups of people who reincarnate together, always. And yeah, the group I'm in is either doing exceptionally well all of a sudden, or not. And yeah, my dreams are like very clear about me helping people, or like, not even my dreams. Sometimes I'm just like being told not to do something that I would normally do on a daily basis, and it's because I'm supposed to go do it with other people or something like that. And then you go and do that, and you're like, oh, I see what was happening here and why it's important for me to be here right now, because what would have otherwise happened would not have been great, unfortunately. So yeah, that's what it's been like. I've been sacrificing a little bit. Not like sacrificing like, you know, my sleep, or like, you know, not like real sacrifice. Like I like constantly remind myself, I'm like, I'm being spared the Great Tribulation, and for some reason I'm still like, you know, feeling, you know, challenged, I guess is the simple word for it. I just finished David Wilcock's book, The Ascension Mysteries. It was absolutely phenomenal. I have to say, man, I really tried not to get schadenfreude when some of the stories was like talking about David Wilcock's, you know, challenges. Some of the stories are actually kind of funny. Basically, in the book, he just goes through all the crazy things he's witnessed, which are, he's seen the real deal. I mean, Schenectady is where Union is, and Union is like a very, it's like a NESCAC school. I mean, I'm sure there's weird stuff happening there. There sure is weird stuff happening here. Not that I've seen it personally, but I know it's happening. What else? The book is freaking great. Oh my gosh. And it's like, he just opens you up to a million other authors too. I mean, that's the thing about a great book, is it's just like, and now I know like the next like 5 books I want to read. So, I mean, hypothetically, I think I'm going to go read some Graham Hancock, like, but that's just because Graham Hancock's good. And I like have bought his new book because I wanted to support him, and it's tricky. I also, like, just out of a desire to give back to David Wilcock, bought the Ascension Mystery School and never attended class. And there were only 40 people in it, and I like met a few of the other people in the class, and they were all like, oh yeah, it was really good, but I would not recommend taking David Wilcock's courses, personally. Or buying his new book. I also read a book by Jonathan Vankin called Crimes, Conspiracies, and Cover-Ups. That was freaking sweet. That was, yeah, very interesting. And then I've been working on this theory that I don't think is going to get any airtime, so I'm just going to say it. I think Troy was actually the city of Tyre. And so I'll put a link for this. There was this dude who he made a podcast about whether or not they had found the city of Troy. And like they say they did in northwestern Turkey. But if it was in northwestern Turkey, there'd be no shot at you getting lost on your way back anywhere, because you could just follow the coast. I don't think you would get lost, actually, at least. I think the city of Troy is actually the city of Tyre, because that's the city that was the founding of Rome. Tyre basically colonized the whole Mediterranean. It had the largest navy. Basically, Tyre, or the Phoenicians, ended up becoming the Venetians, which also had the largest navy and basically ran the same Mediterranean trade. And in Venice, they have these 4 horses of the, not the apocalypse, but they have like these funny donkey ears. And they're made of this really weird mix of like metals that makes them very hard to place the origin of. Because they're likely, from antiquity. Anyway, I think those 4 horses, I think they were in Constantinople before, but then before Constantinople, they were probably in Tyre. And so, like, if you take Constantinople, Tyre, Jerusalem, and Egypt, you basically seal off 2 major fertile regions of the world, being like the Nile and Italy, and then Greece and, northern Italy being one huge fertile region, and Anatolia or Macedonia or, Turkey. But Turkey's pretty much, not really Turkey, but those, the Nile, Carthage, Italy, Spain, France, Greece, and then you can seal those off from Mesopotamia, Syria, and the Arabian Peninsula if you control, a few select cities of, Jerusalem, Tyre, Constantinople, Sardis, and then, if you go south far enough from Jerusalem, you can cut off the Nile, or you can just control Egypt also. And so that area is probably always highly contested, because those are 2, very fertile regions. And in the Bible, we know Sumer and Shinar are located by their rivers. Similarly, if you look at the history of Rome, you can figure out that Sicily and southern Italy had enough farmland to feed everybody, but they used huge latifundias instead. And then the elites, got all the money. Anyway, I don't think that theory is going to get proven. But it's interesting because in this podcast, he talks about there's a slope in the wall that Patroclus could make his way up it and get struck down in the Iliad. And I was looking at images of the siege of Tyre by Alexander, and there is one section of wall with that funny slope, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting theory, and Tyre, Troy, very close. There's this weird Hittite thing that's like probably disproving my theory, but Rome was basically founded by people who controlled trade in the Mediterranean, which was not someone in northwestern Turkey. Like, we know the city of Tyre was dominating. Anyway, I'm trying to prove that one. It's tough. I'll put a link for the picture and a link for the podcast. You can look into it. It's interesting stuff. Yeah, I've been really trying to freaking nail that one. Oh, that would be sick. It's so hard to get it. That is a tough... Anyway, the other reason that theory is probably likely is because the Odyssey is a long journey. It wouldn't really take you that long to get from northwestern Turkey to anywhere in Greece or anything like that. Nor would you really get lost. And then the thing about Rome and the longest siege of any city pretty much was the Siege of Tyre by Alexander the Great. So similarly, the siege of Troy could have a similar, thing. And this whole Hittite thing, and I don't know. That's just a theory. Turns out the guy who discovered the city there was kind of a shady dude who worked with the Rothschilds or something. I don't really know. So I've been trying to do some writing. It's been going okay. Hanging out with the fam. And trying to heal. So yeah, I don't have a lot to say here tonight. I wasn't really going to film, but they were like, you should go sing a little bit. So I did. And yeah, you get a little sneak peek about what kind of weird stuff I've been learning. If you want to know why some of that might be hard to find in our history books, you can look into the Reese Committee findings and the Norman Dodd Report and, the Carnegie Foundation. They said, what are the two most effective ways to reshape society? What is the most effective way besides war? And they concluded war is the most effective way, but that rewriting history is the second most effective way. So that's what they did. They rewrote history books. They created this American History Society or something like that, and trained everybody in London, as you can imagine, and had some Yale Troika folks in there who, trained in Prussia and, aren't the greatest. Anyway. Now, nobody knows anything. I mean, people know stuff. It's all on the internet, luckily. So yeah, I'm trying to get that truth, compile it. And yeah, just be patient. Try and heal. So, I think I'm going to post this on Saturday. And yeah, I think that's enough for tonight. I hope you have a good Saturday and, some Bing Crosby, some quick history. And yeah, see you soon.